Hi, my name's Eric, welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about ABBA. Earlier this year, I went on an ABBA album marathon. I had only ever listened to Gold, their greatest hits album, and to Voulez-Vous, so I listened to their, at the time, 7 remaining albums, and needless to say, I had a blast. And because I wanted to share that with you, sometime around the end of the summer, I decided that I would film an ABBA album ranking video, but that was right before they announced that they would return with their new album, Voyage, their first in 40 years. So now that Voyage is out and I've had time to listen to it and to think about it, I'm ready to share with you my official, unofficial, purely personal ranking of all 9 of ABBA's standard studio albums, so that does not include compilations or reissues. Let's see where Voyage lands on my list. As always, this is a totally subjective list, and I am ranking these albums entirely based on how much I personally enjoy them. As you'll be able to tell from this video, I am a big ABBA fan, and I enjoy all their albums, so this isn't a bad to good list, but a good to great list. As for my criteria in making this list, to me, the perfect ABBA album has a solid combination of greatest hits material and quality deep cuts. It retains the classic ABBA blend of ballads, bangers, and odd experimental tracks, and I feel compelled to return to most, if not all, of the songs fairly often. Like I mentioned, I'm going to focus on the standard editions of these albums, but I'll also mention some standout bonus tracks, and there are some varying international versions of these albums, so on one version, a song might be a bonus track, whereas it's a standard edition track on another, but I'll do my best. With all of that being said, before I dive in, let me know in the comments down below what your favorite ABBA album is, or how you would rank all 9 of their albums, or what you think of Voyage. Check the description box for links to lists of nonprofits you can donate to. Please subscribe to be here when I post new videos, and hit the bell icon to be notified when my videos go live. Without further ado, I'm going to start from the bottom, again an album that I do like, and work my way up to my very favorite ABBA album. At number 9, I have Waterloo. I know that there's another album that most people would probably put last, and I actually enjoy that album and Waterloo about evenly. There are multiple greatest hits-worthy songs on Waterloo, including the title track, which of course slaps enough to win Eurovision, and Honey Honey, which even in 1974 had a sweet retro sound. But there also are some experiments that don't work quite as well and that make the album less consistent than it could be, even though it's not a very long album. King Kong's song sounds exactly how you think it would from its title, and it's an absolute ABBA oddity. My Mama Said is an almost as weird take on funk, and Susie Hangaround is more juvenile than even most of the songs on their debut. Still, I wouldn't consider Waterloo a sophomore slump. ABBA went for more variety and took more risks here, and I think they mostly pay off. Like on the cute and tropical Sitting in the Palm Tree, or on Gonna Sing You My Love Song, which is one of ABBA's more compositionally unusual early career songs. So not bad at all for a least favorite album, and like I said, I do really enjoy it. At number 8, I have Ring Ring, an album that says, when ABBA calls, you answer. While I don't think this album reaches highs like Waterloo or Honey Honey, it's overall pretty consistent despite being a fairly long album. The title track is really memorable and youthful, and the rest of the songs follow suit with their catchy sing-song simplicity. Even though songs like Me and Bobby's Brother, People Need Love, and Rock and Roll Band in retrospect sound a little young for artists in their late 20s, they have consistently strong melodies that keep me coming back. Benny and Bjorn also pushed themselves as songwriters on tracks like Disillusion, which has an interesting and over-the-top melody, and Santa Rosa and She's My Kind of Girl, both of which sound like the type of pop rock made by bands like the Monkees and the Beatles in the 60s. Ring Ring also offers some nice 1970s nostalgia with its theme of peace on earth on songs like People Need Love and He Is Your Brother, and with its whimsical instrumentation on Another Town, Another Train, Love Isn't Easy, and Merry Go Round. So even though Ring Ring feels less edited and developed than Waterloo, I find myself returning to more of its songs. At number 7, I have Voyage. Sure, maybe recency bias is at play a bit here, but this album retains the feeling and style of an ABBA album without just leaning on old tricks. We do get direct references to past tracks like the recycled piano melody from SOS, but the album as a whole nods to different styles, themes, and eras of ABBA's career without feeling entirely like a retread. Little Things is personal and sentimental like a song from The Visitors. Bumblebee to me brings to mind ABBA's most imaginative songs like Move On, Ode to Freedom calls back to the lyrical themes of Eagle and Fernando, Don't Shut Me Down evokes disco ABBA, Just a Notion feels like an updated version of their early breezy rock and roll, I Could Go On. And I think standout tracks like I Still Have Faith in You and Keep an Eye on Dan will age well too. So maybe the remaining 6 albums have the advantage of a legacy and of their greatest hits becoming legendary, but Voyage is a solid and consistent balance of old and new that proves that ABBA is timeless. At number 6, I have ABBA. While their self-titled album isn't as consistent as their later albums, including Voyage, a solid third of it is greatest hits material, which is impressive. It comes out swinging with Mamma Mia, self-explanatory, and follows it up with SOS, I Do, I Do, I Do, I Do, I Do, and So Long, all of which are really fun and catchy. The rest of the album could be split into 2 main categories. The first are the more conventional ABBA tracks like Bang a Boomerang, which could have been on Ring Ring, and I've Been Waiting for You, a classic sounding love song. And second are the weirder, intermittently successful experiments, like Man in the Middle, which gets a surprisingly effective groove going, and Rock Me, which... Huh? So as a whole, a solid album, but its singles are its most notable songs. At number 5, I have Arrival. I know my opinion is probably wrong. That's okay, we all have the right to be wrong sometimes. I've seen a lot of people rank this album higher, and I totally get why. Half of this album is hit after hit. Dancing Queen, My Love, My Life, Knowing Me, Knowing You, Money, 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 the entire range of human emotion captured in 4 songs, it's groundbreaking. Just the pivot from Dancing Queen to My Love, My Life. Who said that was okay? If I think more about the ending of Mamma Mia 2, I'm going to need a hug. And the next song is Dum Dum Diddle. The album kicks off with the highly questionable When I Kissed the Teacher, a certified ABBA oddity that'll make you ask, when you what? And it's still on more ABBA Gold. But the rest of the album is somewhat less memorable to me. That's Me is overshadowed by ABBA's later disco songs, and Tiger is a little bit more silly than menacing, again, just personally. Also, Fernando is there just as a bonus track, but it is a fantastic song. So the album is half good and half amazing, which averages out to pretty great. At number 4, I have The Album. To me, this is an outlier in ABBA's discography, and I think it's underrated. Then again, I also think Ring Ring is underrated, so right off the bat, Take a Chance on Me is one of my favorite ABBA songs. I just love it. It's sunny, it's catchy, it's the perfect road trip song. The album also features Thank You for the Music, an automatic shoo-in for the title of any of ABBA's compilation albums. To me, Thank You for the Music is a modern Auld Lang Syne, like a song that you sing with your arms around your friends, celebrating a milestone while also starting to feel the underlying sadness of the passing of time. But the reason this album stands out to me is that it actually has some really successful prog elements. King Crimson? Never heard of him. Eagle ties in the classic ABBA theme of freedom, Move On is cinematic and grand, and I'm a Marionette is both totally off-kilter and an absolute banger. This album makes me feel like I've just hiked to the top of a mountain and I'm watching the sunrise, a thing that I have done. Once. We also get Hole in Your Soul, which is a fun rock and roll song, and I Wonder, which could have fit on The Visitors. So while it might have been cool to hear a cohesive progressive pop project, this album has a nice combination of bangers and successful experiments. At number 3, I have Super Trooper. First of all, the title track slaps, and if you can listen to it without singing along to Supapa Trupapa, that is very suspicious to me and I don't trust it. Then we get The Winner Takes It All, some melodramatic Europop goodness, and in my opinion, best of all is Lay All Your Love on Me. This album could have been like 10 tracks of field recordings of animal noises and just Lay All Your Love on Me in the middle, and it would still be a top tier album simply because of this one song. I'm exaggerating, but I'm not exaggerating. Super Trooper was ABBA's second to last pre-Voyage album, and what I like about their later output is that it got sadder as it went along. Don't judge me. So we get the sweetly sad Andante, cry dancing roller rink realness, Me and I, Thank You for the Music sequel, Happy New Year, the absolutely beautiful Our Last Summer, and The Way Old Friends Do, where the reverb of the live recording perfectly underscores the song's wistfulness. We also get The Piper, which 1 is highly underrated, and 2 is giving Midsummer, which I appreciate. And Elaine is just a bonus track, but it slaps too. So as you can tell, this album is consistently fun, and it's one of ABBA's most well-rounded and developed artistic statements. Alright, these next couple spots were a bit of a toss-up, but at number 2, I have The Visitors. ABBA's first to last album is arguably their best. It's certainly their most emotionally nuanced, cohesive, and thematically interesting work. You could say because of that, it lacks some of the quirks that we expect from ABBA, but I think it's a highly entertaining album with strong and conceptual pop songs. The context of this album involves divorce, political turmoil, and countless life changes that happen after you put out 8 albums in 10 years. And the benefits of that decade-long crash course in songwriting are evident here on songs like the catchy and lyrically vivid Head Over Heels, beautifully orchestrated I Let the Music Speak, reggae pop One of Us, and devastating Slipping Through My Fingers. Even songs that could have been outliers like the futuristic and bold title track and Gorgeous Soldiers fit here perfectly. The standard edition of the album ends with Like an Angel Passing Through My Room, but the bonus tracks are required listening. Should I Laugh or Cry, Cassandra, Under Attack, and especially The Day Before You Came. The Beatles had A Day in the Life, ABBA has The Day Before You Came. The Visitors is a mature and vibrant album, and I think it's a perfect complement to my #1 pick, Voulez-Vous. This album delivers on everything that I love from ABBA. It has my favorite combination of greatest hits, standout deep cuts, and weirdness that works, and also disco. The album opens with As Good As New, possibly the single most underrated ABBA song of all time, and also one of my most replayed songs of the last couple years. The way the song veers between Baroque pop and disco is whiplash-inducing. It's a wild approach that pays off. Then we hit the title track, which is another of my favorite ABBA songs, I Have a Dream, which is very different from the first 2 tracks but still iconic, and Angel Eyes, which throws it back to ABBA's 1960s influences. And then the second half of Voulez-Vous contains not only schlager banger Chiquitita, but also some of ABBA's very best album cuts. If It Wasn't for the Nights is a fantastic song about loneliness, and Kisses of Fire sounds like it could have won ABBA Eurovision a second time. Just in case you thought you'd miss out on some ABBA weirdness, we get Does Your Mother Know, which rivals When I Kissed the Teacher in its questionable lyrics. And if you're listening to the deluxe version, Voulez-Vous ends with Gimme Gimme Gimme. ABBA really said, let's just tack on one of the best songs of all time as a treat. Like, excuse me, do you not understand the power this song holds? Deluxe version or not, Voulez-Vous combines everything ABBA does best, and it features some of their greatest songs that I return to all the time, and for those reasons, it's my favorite ABBA album. So that is my ranking. Like I said, I would love to know your favorite ABBA albums as well, so please leave them in the comments, and while you're there, don't forget to check the description for those donation links. Please subscribe to be here when I post new videos. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're staying safe and healthy, and until next time, that's it.